Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? Wait for a few people to get in this chat. Going to get back to covering the heavyweight scene, man. Like I normally do. Had to take a little time off. Get re-energized for this thing, man. I don't know, man. When you're on here for 8 years, man, making videos, sometimes you need a little bit of break. Especially, you got family, got stuff outside of YouTube. Then I just felt like I just kept talking about the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again, man. So that's why I took a little break. I seen a lot of you leaving messages, asking me if I'm okay and what's going on. Just chilling, man. Just chilling. Actually, this is it was a month that I was away, but I was around. I was on a lot of live streams, going on people's live streams, being in the chat section, leaving comments. So I've been around, man. Just wasn't really motivated to making videos. Just got kind of bored with the debating and arguing about fights that should happen, that shouldn't happen. So just took a little time off, man. For those of you that's been rocking with me since 2010, you guys know I really took a break on my first channel where I took 2.5 years off. And no, I wasn't locked up or anything. A lot of people thought, whenever you take a break, people think the worst. But I understand, life happens. But no, I wasn't locked up. Nothing bad happened. Just chilling, man. Catching up on college basketball. NFL playoffs started. Go Vikes. You know what I mean? So just been chilling with the fam, man, and watching sports when I can. But just chilling with the fam, basically, man. But we're going to get to this heavyweight scene. I'm going to cover this like nobody else has ever covered it on YouTube. But yeah, some interesting fights coming up, right? 25 people in the building. Let me get some more thumbs up, y'all. Only got 6 right now. What's up to everybody, man? Let me jump in these comments. Oh, what's up, James Coleman? Dian Ubianuli. I still don't know how to pronounce your name the right way, man. Trap House Boxing. Everybody, man. What's up to everybody, man? Leaving comments right now. Appreciate it. Now, a lot of you been leaving me comments, man, say, Mr. Boxing, these unifications are finally happening. What's your opinion? What's your opinion? What's your opinion? I'm happy as hell. Like, what would y'all think my opinion would be? I'm happy as hell that these fights are finally happening. Fights that a lot of us been clamoring for years now. And it's funny. I'm gonna start off with the Joshua and Parker fight. I've been big on here saying that, I'm tired of letting fights marinate and letting it build, blah, blah, blah. This might be a situation where letting it build probably won out on this one. And I say that because when Parker and Joshua were first trying to fight each other or, going back and forth with words, it was before Joshua fought Charles Martin. And I remember the WBO ordered a fight where they wanted Parker against AJ, and the winner would be the #1 contender for the WBO. And then those things fell apart. You guys remember that, man, where Parker came out, I believe it was an Instagram video. It's still up on YouTube. I did a video about it where he came out and he was like, hey, how about me and you fight the winner of the WBO mandatory challenger, blah, blah, blah. So now there's more on the table. And I think this is a situation where, letting it marinate. I hate that damn term, but letting it marinate actually won out. But if you're asking me, I will way rather see fights happen now than letting it marinate. But in this situation, it did win out because AJ is a unified champion and Parker has a title built himself, has made a few title defenses. So in this situation, man, it did win out. One thing about what I'm seeing is, I don't know, man, them including this IBO strap. I keep hearing people say he's putting 3 titles on the line. It's like, huh? What, the IBO? When the hell we start counting that strap? Now, I know I've talked about it on my channel because, whenever these fights, whenever those, fights come up and guys are fighting for the WBC interim or the silver title, I bring it up because it's, it's on the line. But so I understand the IBO is on the line, but just bringing it up as if like it's some title that will make you, will help you on the way to being a undisputed champion is not needed. But it is what it is. A lot of great fighters have held the IBO, but right now it's not needed to be undisputed unless the criteria changed when I was going in the last 30 days, which I doubt. So I definitely like that fight. All right. Um, Before I get to the, breakdown of the fight, um, I see somebody saying 32%. I'm not sure what the purse things are. If that's what y'all talking about, I really don't care about that, man. I know it's a part of boxing, and boxing is a business. And come on, y'all, we're preaching to the choir. We all know that. But whatever they decided to go with, cool. Fucking great. Whatever he's going to get, however much the percentage is, great, awesome. Now, so the fight's going to happen in March. And then people also been asking me, Mr. Boxer, how do you feel about let me pull this up real quick. People been asking me, how do I feel about this situation with what's it? Josh was on some talk show with a guy, what's the dude's name? What's the British guy's name? The TV talk show host, Norton Graham or Graham Norton, forgot the dude's name. And he was talking about, the dude was poking fun that Parker had seen a picture of him saying he's the king of the pies or the pie king or whatever. And then, Joshua jokingly went along with him like, yeah, maybe his nickname should be Pie. And then Parker came out and said, then he said that AJ must be the steroid king. He wasn't for sure. It could be. He might be on steroids, blah, blah, blah. And then let me see, because I just looked at this. Let me see. Literally 15 minutes ago on the New Zealand Herald, the title reads, Joseph Parker says he went too far with Anthony Joshua's steroid comments. Now, I'm not even going to read it, because to me, now, I don't want to do, he probably reneged on his comments so he won't get sued for slander or some shit. I'm not sure about the legalities of it, but they're just talking shit, man. If you're that mad about it, guess what? As Evander Holyfield used to say, if you're that mad, you got to fight me anyways. So, what are you mad? You know what I'm saying? So you got to fight each other anyways. It really don't matter. I don't think that's a good look, though. Now, is there a chance that any of these dudes are using something? Well, of course. From no matter what country you're from, who the fighter is, whether he's your favorite, you hate him. Of course, there's a chance. But I don't know, man. It's kind of like, is Parker looking at him like, damn, there's no way you can be that big and strong and powerful without being on steroids? Who knows? But he just needs to fight, man. They just need to fight. So as far as that stuff go, man, it is what it is. They're just talking shit to each other. And I expect a lot more shit talking as this fight approaches. I see a lot of Parker fans saying that he shouldn't engage in shit talking, just be the quiet, humble warrior, things like that. That's fine. That's your opinion. You want him to be the quiet, humble warrior type. But they got to fight anyway. So whether he's talking shit or not, you still got to fight. He can be as nice as he wants to be. You still got to fight him. So to me, the way I look at it, really doesn't even matter. Also see that Lucas Browne and Dillian Whyte set the fight in March. And then obviously we got Wilder versus Ortiz happening in March also. So some really good, solid heavyweight fights, meaningful fights. As far as there's another fight that's coming up this weekend. I think it's a good fight. Adam Kownacki versus Kilzadi. Kilzadi, he's a guy with only one loss. He lost to Kalinga, the guy that fought Dorticos in that war. Kownacki, I think, is going to chop him down, man. I went and watched that Kalinga versus Kilzadi fight earlier today. He was actually doing good the first round and a half, using his jab, circling, coming down the pike with the right hand. Then he got caught over his jab and went to sleep, like literally went to sleep. I see Kownacki walking him down, eating him up with body shots, throwing overhand rights or overhand lefts, and just ripping him to the body, ripping hooks and uppercuts. There might be a round or two where, Kilzadi might use the jab and stay away for a little bit, but I think he's getting, I think Kownacki's going to go in for the stoppage on that. Heard rumors of Jarrell Miller and Pulev. Excellent fight if it happens. Excellent fight if it happens. I know a lot of people may favor Pulev in that fight, but man, it's a tough fight because Pulev, you put some pressure on him, just like when he lost in the Olympics to Oscar Rivas. You put some pressure on him, man, and step inside his jab. What kind of fighter is he? A lot of these guys, man, when they want to keep you in the end of their jab, I'm not saying every fighter in history, but a lot of fighters, once you get past that jab, they're not the same fighter. Once you get up in their chest and put that pressure on them and start pushing them back and make it into a, you know, half clinch and fighting with your offhand and stuff like that, they're not the same fighter. So will he be the same fighter when that happens to him? We will see. Usually Pulev likes to hold. He stands straight up and he likes to hold. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We will see. Chat filling up. 62 people in here. That's what's up, man. Y'all give me some thumbs up, man. See Blood Boxing in the building was good. Blood. Antonio McCray, D Uso. All you guys. This comments going kind of fast. Shouts out to all you guys, man. Now let's break down the styles, right? Let's break down the styles, Parker and AJ. I think it's going to decision, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. The Takam fight, you know, we can argue, and even I was one of the guys that said I thought it was stopped prematurely. Not that Takam was on his way to winning and they robbed him. No, it's just that I didn't think he was out enough to where they can stop the fight. Ref put him in a headlock, told him it was over, you know what I mean? But thought AJ was winning the fight, all right? Convincingly, all right? But what I thought was giving AJ problems was Takam's movement. He wasn't just a sitting target. He was bending at the waist, moving, you know, kind of moving his head, had the guard up, moving his gloves around. First, you know, have him up by his head, and he'll move him, you know, showing him the left shoulder, just moving, making AJ think a little bit, even to the point where AJ started jabbing to the body. You know what I mean? So he can kind of slow that rhythm down and catch him up top. I think Parker will show those same types of movements, and I think he's a much more explosive combination puncher and a faster puncher than Takam. I think he can show those same types of upper body movements. And I think AJ's going to have to fight, or not AJ, but I think Parker's going to have to fight relaxed in this fight. If he comes out stiff with high guard, I think AJ's going to blow him out if he comes out like that. Now, some of you may say, what do you mean? He's a guard up to protect himself. Protect himself with his feet, moving around a little bit. To me, Parker's at his best when he is kind of limber and fluid with his punches, man. When he kind of, the way he was fighting, we kind of did it against Takam, kind of did it against Ruiz to a point where he kind of drops his head a little bit, he literally drops his jab to his waist, and he kind of have his right hand right in front of his chest. And he's moving around, he's moving his chin around, he's snapping the jab, circling. He's going to have to fight like that, man, and kind of try to slip some of these straight punches from Joshua. If they get on the inside, that's going to be interesting to see, because Parker can throw very fast combinations up close, and I think AJ's at his best when he's up close, to me, in my opinion. I went back and I watched the Parker versus Dimitrenko fight. Dimitrenko and Joshua are similar in kind of like the height, long reach. They're not the same fighter, obviously, I know that, but what I was paying attention to was when Dimitrenko jabbed and threw his right hand, how did Parker react? And he was slipping that right hand from Dimitrenko. I know Joshua was a faster puncher than Dimitrenko. I just went on how did he react when a big, tall guy is throwing straight punches at him. Parker has a tendency to back up sometime in straight lines. And he'll kind of throw his left shoulder out there and kind of back up in straight lines. He got to stay off them ropes. That's one thing he has to do. Ruiz had him against the ropes a few times. He really couldn't capitalize on it. And that's another fight that I was watching, man, to try to kind of gauge what I think he'll do against AJ. I know AJ and Ruiz, two different fighters, different dimensions. I know that. I'm just looking at when a jab right hand comes at him, how does he react? Ruiz has for his size and stature, man, he has good fundamental skills offensively fighting with that high guard. And he was able to have some success with his jab and his right hand. He was all, you know, but the thing with Ruiz and Dimitrenko, guys like that, is they want to use that jab, well, especially Ruiz and even Takam. When they're jabbing at you, they're trying to jab to get close. Whereas, you know, when you're fighting guys like, in my opinion, AJ, Wilder, even Pulev, guys like that, they're using that jab to keep you out there so they can come with that right hand behind it and hurt you. They're not just flicking jabs out there so they can try to get close after jabbing. They're literally trying to keep you at bay. And if Parker gets kept at bay with that jab from Joshua, man, because he has a hard thudding jab, it could be a long night for JP, man. But it's going to be an explosive fight, man. But I just don't see Parker coming out there getting into a slugfest. And I think AJ respects him. I mean, we'll all see this shit on Fight Night. I could be totally wrong, but I think he respects him enough to where he's not going to come out there just because of the movement. And I think AJ tries to fight smart fights by trying to figure you out like he did with Takum. He just didn't come out there running out there throwing wild, crazy punches. He used that jab. When Takum's doing all that moving, he using his jab, trying to figure out a way, okay, how I'm going to slow him down. And peck away with his jab, because it's a hard, thudding type of jab, man. You know, AJ is really not trying to flick jabs. He's trying to hurt you with that motherfucker, a la George Foreman. So, damn, man, this is going to be a good fight, man. It's going to be a really good fight. But he's going to have to use movement. He's going to have to fight Parker. He's going to have to use movement. He's going to have to fight off angles. He's going to have to slip some punches. He's going to have to do a lot of stuff, man. So in this fight, because I think when they come out there, I believe that Josh is going to take the aggressive role. I think he's going to try to walk him down. I don't see Parker walking down Anthony Joshua unless he hurts him and he buzzes him and he try to go in for the kill. But I just don't see it. I just see when they get in there, I believe his presence will take control as far as who's going to walk who down. And I think Parker may feel at home using the back foot, because if Ruiz had, you know, success walking him down, being, you know, 5'11" or however tall Ruiz is, 6'1", whatever he is, I know damn sure Anthony Joshua is going to be able to do it. So I think Parker going to have to be in shape for this fight, man. Get a lot of road work in, spar a lot of rounds, get ready to fight off that back foot, get ready to throw fast, hard combinations after he slips shots. It's going to be a good fight, man. I think it's going to go to decision, and I'm going to pick Joshua to win by decision in that fight. I think it's going to be some rounds Parker's going to win. I think there may be a few rounds where they're trying to figure each other out. They're going to respect each other. That's the type of fight I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be that, just from based on their style clash. I think it's going to be that type of fight. And I think Parker's durable. He's young, fresh, and durable. I don't think he'll come in there and just try to lay down. The difference between him and Charles Martin, well, they're two totally different fighters, but their mindsets. Whereas Martin got in there, you know, he got in there, man. First of all, the way he got the title against Glaskov hurt his knee. It's not his fault, you know what I mean? But first title defense, he just got steamrolled, man. He really pretty much got steamrolled in that fight. But I think Parker mindset is a little bit different, where he feels like he's a champion. He feels like he's a proud title holder, where he's defended his title a few times, regardless of what you think of who he defended it against. He's had some title defenses, so he feels like, hey, I am a damn champion. You know what I mean? So I think his mindset may be a little bit more different. And he's had some tough competition in there with him, man. You know, so that's what I think about that fight, Parker and AJ. I'm going with AJ by decision. As far as Wilder, and I'm gonna get to the comments in a second, man. I'm gonna just say everything I gotta say, then I'll go and I'll read some of these comments. But as far as Wilder versus Ortiz, second time around, man, let's fingers crossed on this one, man. Please let this one. When this was made official, I remember reading on my phone. I'm like, man, please, I just hope they make it to the ring. I hope nothing goes wrong. Please, because this is going to be explosive, and I think it's going to end by KO based on their styles. Ortiz, we know that he is a masterclass southpaw, right? That southpaw, I've said before, is surgical. He is surgical with that left hand, man. He can work uppercuts, straight left hands. And I hear a lot of people say, but he's slow as hell. He's slow. Guess what? It's the heavyweights. If there's any division where you can be slow, it's this division. Right? You got 250-pound dudes in there. Nobody's super duper fast. Now, some people may have quick hands. Now, there are some guys who are quick on their feet, things like that. But if there's a division where you can be slow, it's this division right here, especially if you got a good jab. But it's this division right here, in my opinion. The thing about Ortiz, he's never really was winning fights off of his speed. It was always timing, slipping shots. And as soon as you make a mistake, he's going to make you pay. He's one of them type of fighters, man, where just make a mistake. It's not about his speed or he's not fast, and that's a good argument when we're trying to break down styles. I'm not trying to throw speed out the window, but in my opinion, I think timing can always sully speed in most cases. You know what I mean? So, and just your awkwardness, and when you're in there with a guy that you know, man, if I make a mistake, he going to counter the shit out of me. it makes you kind of hesitant too to not go in there and throw wild ass punches and make all these crazy mistakes. Because you know, however slow the fans say he is, or however slow you think he is. I even heard Wilder say during the fight that Ortiz had with Daniel Martz, he said he didn't really think he was a power puncher. Then literally 10 seconds after that, he puts Daniel Martz face first. But so I'm kind of thinking like, damn, was Wilder just saying that on air just to make it, just being a fighter? Or does he really not think Ortiz can really punch that hard? Because I guarantee you Brian Jennings don't think that. And shit, Verdando, remember the dude he knocked out, went face first, and this guy just fought Daniel Martz. Now, I know they're not great competition, but to say, I don't know, man, I think he can hit hard. You know what I mean? So, it's going to be, and I know some people want to bring up Malik Scott. Man, Malik Scott was running for his life in that fight. And Malik Scott is a guy, man, going into the Wilder fight, I know it sounds crazy now, right? I know it sounds crazy as hell now. But going into the Wilder fight, I was favoring Malik Scott based on their skill set. If you guys watch Malik Scott train, you will sit there and be like, damn, this dude got fucking skills. And now, I know in hindsight, it's easy to say, what? How the hell did you pick Malik? Well, yeah, now we can say it. But going into the fight, I was just like, man, skill for skill, Scott is leaps and bounds better than Deontay Wilder. When you're watching him move their head, work combinations, footwork, balance, and man, he looked way better. But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes a skillful person can go in there and get their ass whooped. No matter how many skills you got, you go in there and still get stretched out. But Ortiz has good timing, man, and he's gonna be trying to slip these jabs, slip these right hands. Oh, man, it's gonna be tough. But Wilder has a lot of snap and speed on that jab. But this is a point. This is a fight where Wilder's not going to be able to enjoy his reach advantage. I think by the numbers that I've seen that Ortiz has 1 inch on Wilder. I think Ortiz, 84-inch reach? Wilder's 83 or something like that. So, and one thing about Ortiz and his lead hand is he likes to work right hooks with that jab. He'll kind of jab at you, paw, right hook, wait for you to make a mistake, right hook to the body. Just his feints and timing, man. That's what I think will give Wilder the most problem. Those feints and timing. And he can work with both hands equally. He's, the left hand is what you want to look out for, but he can lead with right hooks, man, and right uppercuts, like leading with uppercuts to the body. But I think once this fight goes later, because I just think going late into the fight, I think Wilder's going to prevail. I think his stamina is going to be better. And I think as time goes on in the fight, and I think Ortiz is going to win some rounds. I definitely think he's going to win some rounds. But I think as the pace picks up, I will favor Wilder. I'm going to favor Wilder in this fight by knockout. And I think Ortiz is going to win some rounds. I think there may be some scary moments in the fight for Wilder. Man, I'm picking Wilder, but I'm still not like 100% sure about the fight. Because just the timing, man. And I know a lot of people say speed, but when I see a guy that has great timing, dude had hundreds and hundreds of amateur fights. Fighting is just, is like the back of his hand, man. Like he knows it. Wilder's getting better, in my opinion. And to me, he gets really wild when he gets you hurt. It's not like the bell rings and he comes out there just throwing helicopter punches, man. I really think once he sees a guy's hurt, he doesn't know how to control himself or compose himself. Kind of reminds me of Jermaine Taylor. Remember Jermaine Taylor had that problem? You guys remember Jermaine Taylor from back in the day? Taylor had that problem too, man, where he would get guys hurt and he'll start going wild. He wouldn't use his jab enough. I remember when Emmanuel was training him, he was trying to get him to settle down and use his jab, man, and not chicken wing his right hand. He used to carry his right hand really low. But Wilder has awkwardness, and I think his awkwardness may throw off Luis Ortiz timing. You know what I mean? I think if Wilder was more of a textbook type of guy where, I'm going to hold my right hand, because he's the orthodox fighter, where I'm going to hold my right hand by my chin and my left hand right in front of my face or right on the other side of my other chin and work punches like that, I think that'd be easy pickings. Too much for Ortiz to see and attack. But this awkward kind of fighting with his hands down, leaning back a little bit, fast. He has fast hands, man, for a heavyweight. I think that's going to throw off Ortiz timing to where it's now I think it's going to be Wilder that's going to have the advantage of the timing possibly and the hand speed. And he has good it's awkward movements. You know what I mean? He has awkward movements in there, man. So I'm a favorite Wilder in that fight. As far as Dillian Whyte versus Lucas Browne, this is an interesting fight, man. This is an interesting one. I think this is going to go to decision, and I'm going to go with Dillian Whyte in this fight. Whyte's going to have to be aware of Browne's power. I don't think he's going to be able to go in there and just walk him down and bully him. And he's going to have to watch out for that right hand and those left hooks. And I think he should up the pace in this fight. Not necessarily up close. If he does it up close, I don't know who's going to win. Then it's just going to be a slugfest. And I don't know who's going to win that fight. But if Whyte has shown that he showed against Dave Allen and some other fights, guys, lesser competition, where he can move around a little bit, work a jab. I think he's going to have to be, not so one-dimensional in this fight, man. He's going to have to work combinations, move a little bit, make Browne chase him. Not even say chase him, but come forward, work some angles, use some physicality. Now, I'm not telling him to turn into Larry Holmes. I don't think he has that ability to do that. But I think he can mix it up enough. And try to test the stamina of Lucas Browne. Man, Lucas Browne hasn't been in there tough since the Chigaev fight. What was that? Was that 2016? The beginning of 2016? It's been a while, man. So he hasn't been in there tough at all. And he's a much older fighter. I would get in there and test his stamina, man. Make a fast-paced fight and test his stamina and see what Lucas Browne has. I know he's undefeated, but shit, you haven't been in there tough in a while. You know what I mean? So I think Dillian Whyte should definitely go in there and test his stamina, man. Lucas Browne's a guy who likes to fight with his hands down, circle, likes to, snap his jab from his hip, things like that, man. You guys seen him fight before, so put pressure on him. I mean, shit, when Chigaev fought him, Chigaev was a small heavyweight, short guy, 5'11", and he was in there working fast before he got knocked out, but he was in there working fast combinations and pushing Browne back a little bit and even buzzed him in the fight. So I definitely think Whyte could do, but let me not undermine Chigaev, because Chigaev was solid. He was solid, man. Little southpaw. He's pretty solid. So, but I think Whyte, I'm a cancel that. But I'm a favorite Whyte in this fight. A lot of under the radar prospect fights coming up in February. I see should I even see Brian Jennings is up for a fight. I think Tony Yoka's back. I thought I seen Daniel Dubois has a fight scheduled on BoxRec. A lot of fights. Tom Schwartz has a fight coming up. So I'm gonna get back to covering this thing the way I do. Let me look at this this chat, see what y'all talking about. I missed a lot of comments. Somebody says, Money Man says, Big Baby makes Whyte quit. I think that'd be an interesting fight, man. I'm not sure who, that's a tough, to me, it's a lot of toss-up fights, man. And this is why I was so angry in some of my videos, man, when I wanted to see these fights, because now it's just time for these dudes to fight now. You have a lot of guys that's undefeated, a lot of guys with one loss, and we weren't getting a lot of fights that we should be getting, man. So now it was good to see these guys finally getting in there, man. These are some toss-up fights, in my opinion. A fake Kylie Sauerland says, Ortiz could be the oldest ever champ. Man, I don't know how old he is, man. As of right now, George Foreman has that record, man. But I'm not sure how old Ortiz is. I think he's older than what they advertise, but I'm not sure exactly how old he is. And that's another thing that I'm seeing from fans. Now they're saying, oh, he's too old. It's like, well, man, we can't have this shit both ways, man. One minute he's the boogeyman, and and now he's too old. So which is it? To me, it's like, okay, well, he's an old boogeyman then, but we're not about to do this, man. I think Ortiz, regardless of his age, he's just and if he is a lot older than what they say, okay, he's an old guy to know how to fight. Shit, George Foreman, And I'm not comparing Ortiz to form as far as greatness on a historical level, but just freeze framing this moment in time. Shit, there was a point when George Foreman was an old guy and he was a top 10 heavyweight in the early 90s. You know, shit, you can be an old guy and still a legit threat. You're just old. Shit, and like I say, man, the heavyweight, if there is a division where you can be a little bit older, a little bit slower, it's the heavyweights because of the way they fight, how big guys are. I mean, you got some young guys in there that should fight like they're older guys. Not a lot of output, just likes to probe with jabs, you know, so that's my opinion on it. But I'm giving him full credit if he beats Luis Ortiz. I'm not about to play that game. I'm just not doing that. Let me see. Somebody says, Mr. TOC says, Mr. Boxing, who would you choose for a heavyweight Super Series 6 fighters, winners to face? Before I get to that, let me talk about another fight that I've seen, Povetkin and Christian Hammer. Povetkin had a workmanlike performance. Hammer actually fought a lot more confident than I thought he would fight in that fight with Povetkin. Put up the high guard. He even has some little moments in that fight. We put up the high guard, put a little bit of pressure on, but just too much stationary stuff going on for him. But Povetkin's last 2 fights, Radinko and Christian Hammer, you know, workmanlike performances. And like I've always said, man, I think Povetkin, if there's certain style matchups where I think it'd be very intriguing fights, like the Ortiz, Big Baby Miller, fights like that, but fights where it's a tall, rangy type guy, even a fight with Parker, I think would be intriguing. But where it's a rangy type guy, taller fighter, stronger fighters, I think Povetkin will, especially at this stage of his career, being an older guy, I think he'll have problems with the taller, rangier guys, especially a guy that can move around a little bit and put a jab in his face. But as far as that Christian Hammer fight, though, man, just a workman performance. You know, I mean, it was like, damn, he looked spectacular. It just was a workman performance. That's pretty much it. Wasn't really much to say about the fight. Blood Boxer says Ortiz age is a major factor, but the ain't taken from Wilder for taking on the guy Hearn and the WBA protect. Yeah, you know, and Blood, I've seen your videos, even the one where you talked about Rigondeaux, and I get it, man. I totally get as far as age, you know, because the guy is old as dirt. He's old as dirt. But I just really believe, man, at this heavyweight division, this is the division where you can get away with being a little bit older. Now, I'm not saying you're in there fucking 65 years old, punch drunk. You know, I'm not saying that. But still in pretty good fighting shape. And these guys just fight at a much slower pace, man. They fight at a much slower pace. And shit, Stavern looked like he was 60. In his fight, he didn't move his head at all. And he's much younger. Well, on paper, they're the same. Well, they around the same age, Stavern and Ortiz. But I would think that Ortiz is some years older than Stavern. You know what I mean? Shit, look the way Christian Hammer was fighting Povetkin. He didn't, you know, it's not like these guys are here like, damn, look how fast he is. A lot of guys don't fight like that. But yes, I do think age does play a factor, especially if you're a punch drunk type of dude and been knocked out 6, 7, 8 times and stuff like that. But Boxing League. All right, Boxing League. I'm going to go ahead. You've been asking me about a Russian prospect, Pacheco, southpaw, strong, likes to throw left hooks to the body. I've seen the guy train a lot of times. I actually put up some training footage of him on my page. Only a few fights on YouTube of him, man, but from what I see, he looks like, you know, man, there's a slew of these guys, man, that are strong, but they're all fighting downhill. So it's kind of hard to gauge, you know, when I don't see a guy take a backward step in the fight or have to readjust and think. It's just, I'm going to, that's why with a lot of my prospect, if you haven't, Boxing League, if you haven't been to my prospect watch playlist, I've covered like damn near 90 prospects. So just go on that list, man, check out those prospects. But it's kind of hard to gauge some of these prospects when they're just all fighting downhill. They just come forward, 2, 3 punches, knock the guy out. Come forward, 2, 3 punches, knock. It's just, so but there's definitely something to work with there. He's a southpaw. He seems like he has a strong left hand, kind of fights straight up a little bit, you know, likes to work the jab, get close and just blow guys out, you know. So it's kind of hard to gauge how far he'll go, but I do like what I see, and he seems very damn explosive. That's what I will say. Somebody says, hey, Mr. Boxing, where have you been? Good to have you back. Been chilling, man. I ain't been nowhere, man. Just chilling, spending time with the family, taking a break. That's pretty much it, man. Been on here, you know, when you've been on here for 8 years, man, some guys been on here longer than me. Just need a break sometimes, man. Just need a break sometimes. Somebody says, can you show us your underwear? Well, I see the trolls haven't went anywhere. I see the trolls are still on YouTube. There's probably a whole bunch of damn troll comments that I'm missing too, man. I'm trying to just scroll down. OPC Swoo says, nice to hear from you again. No doubt, man. No doubt. But yeah, as far as where I've been chilling, man. Ain't been nowhere, just chilling. Been on, you know, a lot of guys that I'm sub to, I've been on a lot of live streams. I'm always in their chat section, showing support to their channels and, you know, leaving my comments here and there. You know, just been chilling, man. That's all. Zeus Charles says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, man. Andy Bachelor says, hey, Mr. Boxing, slightly off topic. How far can Anthony Yarde go? I think he is a real deal at light heavyweight. That dude's talented, man. That's a talented young guy right there, man. He looks the part, right? He looks the part. Just want to see, you know, just like I was talking about the other guy I was speaking on, Pacheco. Just want to see him in different fight. And see, I'm not saying I need to see him lose or see him get, you know, knocked down, but just see him go through some type of adversity, man, to where he has to readjust and, oh, okay, I've lost that round, now let me get back. And some guys are good enough when they're coming up to where they don't even lose rounds, right? A la Roy Jones. Funny I bring up Roy Jones because that's who Yarde seems as if he's patterned himself after, is guys like Roy Jones and Floyd Mayweather. You can tell he has a lot of influence from those guys, rightfully so, right? But from what I see and him fighting in downhill type of fights, I mean, the kid looks very promising, man. Very promising. Even when I watch him train, you can tell he's taking a page out of Floyd Mayweather's training regimen, which is, I mean, Floyd says a lot of crazy shit sometimes, man. It makes me scratch my head, especially when he talks about some of the legends and their resumes. But with that said, though, Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest fighters I've ever got a chance to watch when I've been alive. You know what I mean? Since I've been alive. And since I've been watching boxing since the late 80s. I'm not going to go that far, you know, like he's some chump. But sometimes he says some crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. DOG215. Hey, man. The Vikes don't come to Philly. We're going to take it from Philly, man. We're going to take it from Philly. Somebody's, hey, Mr. Boxing, Shannon Briggs says today that the Tyson Fury fight will be announced this week. If they fight, that'd be interesting. Man, can you guys imagine just the build up for that fight? Before we even get to the, you know, what happened in the fight, I think Fury will win the fight, man. I think Fury will win the fight. I think his jab is just moving around. But, you know, but we haven't seen Fury in a while, though, man. Damn, we ain't seen this dude in a while. As far as in the ring, I've seen those clips of him and pictures on Twitter of him being in the ring with, like, Daniel Dubois and sparring, you know, different up-and-coming guys out there in the UK. But if it's the Fury to fought Vladimir, he's going to school Briggs as far as using his footwork, using his jab, moving around, landing when he has to, and when he gets close, grab. And just, you know, and then Briggs, man, even back in his heyday, it's just that when the fight started getting into middle to late rounds, do I trust the stamina of Shannon Briggs? And I've been watching Briggs since the 90s, man, and it was always kind of like, I don't trust his stamina. And it's really kind of hard for me to trust it right now with him being a much older guy. But the buildup would be great. The buildup would be great. Fury, I got to see that guy get in shape, man. I really do. I really need to see him get in shape. But I want to see Fury back, man. I really do. I want to see him back. Just want to see him in shape and taking the sport serious. Now, if he comes in out of shape, anything can happen now. I'm not saying a 305-pound Tyson Fury is just going to go in there and whoop people. You know what I mean? It's shit. I don't know what would happen if he comes in like that. Even if he comes in at like 290, I'm still not sure what would happen. He has to be in shape, man. I'm not saying it has to be necessarily the Klitschko fight shape, but at least get down, at least in the 270, something like that, man. At least work your way back down. But if that fight comes to fruition, I think it'd be an interesting fight. But I would definitely favor Fury in that fight. Somebody says, Arjan Gunapi says, Wilder beats AJ. Just my opinion. I could see that. I could definitely, you know, man, when you got these big dudes in there, man, throwing hard ass right hands and shit, man, anything can happen, right? That kind of goes without saying, but I can see that. I can see them pawing with each other, and then Wilder slipping a right hand down the pike and putting them out. Being that I've seen Wilder knock a lot of other fucking people out unconscious, has them doing the splits, putting them in comas and shit like that, but also seen AJ get up. Now we can argue Wilder hits harder than Klitschko. I mean, do we really? I mean, shit. Klitschko knocked out over 50-something people, man. So he put Eddie Chambers to sleep. He beat Pulev's ass. I've seen this dude put people to sleep. You know what I mean? So, but as far as right hand for right hand, both them dudes can crack, man. So, if Klitschko was able to catch him with a right hand, and it wasn't like it was some, you know, some special right hand that he threw. No, he just blinded him with the jab, came down with the right hand, didn't see it, got cracked. That can happen in any fight. You know what I mean? I see a lot of comments saying, yeah, but it was from Klitschko. It's like, okay, yeah, Klitschko has a hard right hand. So do a lot of other guys. Like I heard Jarrell Miller say, hey, man, we can all crack at this division. You know what I mean? It's just how well do you disguise your power punches, and the guy you're fighting, how will he take to your power punches, right? It just depends, man. I mean, look at, I hate using triangle theories, but I'm just using an example. Look at Holyfield. It seemed like when Bo was landing hard on him, he could barely take some of them damn shots, right? When Tyson was hitting them flush, he was taking them. For the most part, it looked like he was just eating them motherfuckers like M&Ms. But then when Bo was putting it on them, Holyfield legs would do little funny dances sometimes, man. So it's just, some guys take to other guys' power differently. It's just weird like that. And historically, a lot of us would look at Tyson being a much harder puncher than Riddick Bowe, right? So just styles, man. Just styles, in my opinion. Just styles and how guys take to other guys. Sometimes those lengthy, when the guy can fight you from range and get full extension on long right hands you don't see, maybe that will give you more trouble than the guy up close trying to bully you and throw hooks and uppercuts, you know? So Rohan Brown says, would you like to see Charles Martin versus Israel Gono, and who would you have winning? Ooh, that'd be an interesting fight right there, man. Damn, that's a toss-up, man. That is a toss-up fight, in my opinion. I really don't even, I'm not even going to hold you, man. I really don't know who will win that fight. Style-wise, Israel's another guy I want to see back. It's like, man, you fought a great, you know, again, I'm not sure what's going on in these guys' personal lives. I have seen them back training on one of the social media platforms, I think Instagram. After a great fight like that with Brazil, man, even though he lost the fight, nothing to, you know, hang his head down about shit. You fought a good fight. I thought that was one of the better, most exciting fights of the year that a lot of people kind of forgot. And it's easy to forget that fight when you have a fight like Klitschko and Joshua that took place, but that was right up there, man, especially in the heavyweight division. Martin has came back. He has been in shape. He has picked up some wins. I think he picked up like 2 or 3 wins this year against journeyman level guys. Sneaky left hand. When he's, you know, when Martin is really working in there, like the Dweco fight and a few of his other fights, man, when he's really in there working and moving his head, he could be sneaky with that left hand. But Israel, man, Israel looks very promising, man. I just want to see his stamina get a little bit better, and for him to have and work his jab. And if he's going to be out there throwing, you know, explosive combinations from round 1, he's going to have to be in a lot better shape. I think he gassed out in that Brazil fight, along with Brazil being able to take an ass whooping and come back and apply pressure. Just physical. Brazil, you know, a lot of people call him a punching bag. Yeah, but he's a punching bag that can punch your ass back, though. And he's tough. And he's a big dude. He's, what, 6'8", 270 pounds. You got a big dude like that, just keep coming forward, keep coming forward, keep coming forward. And you're landing and landing and landing, but he's not going anywhere. That can tire you out. And now you're tired, also getting hit. I mean, when this dude's winding up to punch you, this is a big motherfucker, man. So the punch is going to hurt. You know what I mean? The AJ fight was different. I just think AJ is a better fighter than him, and he knew how to deal with Brazil, but that doesn't mean everybody else is going to know how to deal with Brazil. And I think Israel's doing a great job of dealing with him until he started to get clipped and he started to get tired. You know what I mean? So, man, Martin and Ogano is a toss-up, in my opinion, right now. See y'all going back and forth. Another guy that I want to see back, man, is Andy Ruiz Jr., since I'm talking about it. I want to see Andy back, man. He's another guy. Some of these guys, man, and again, they all got lives, you know what I mean? So I don't know what's going on. Guys need breaks, whatever. I'm not sure. But fought a good fight against Parker. A lot of people thought, I seen a lot of comments when I did my post-fight video, a lot of people thought that he won the fight. I actually had Parker winning 7-5, but it was a good fight. It was a good fight. Definitely a fight where you want to see Andy right back in there, right back in there. And after that fight, because they fought, what was that? When did they fight? December of 2016? And I remember after the fight, there was an article came out, did a video about it, where Ruiz was talking about he's getting right back in the gym in January. He's going to go up to Big Bear and getting right back in the gym. We're going to see him again first quarter, and haven't seen him. Now, I have seen him on Instagram training. I put up a clip. I haven't been on here for a month, so maybe like 2 months ago, I put up the clip of him doing a boxing workout in the pool, where he was in the pool throwing combinations, had his coach out there with him. So hopefully he's getting back in shape. He's with Top Rank from last I heard. Him and Jennings should be a fight that should just be easy to make. They're both with Top Rank. Should be easy fight to make. Now, I understand. I heard Bob Arum saying that he's trying to push for Jennings to fight Parker. Well, that's taken off the table now because Parker's getting ready to fight Joshua. Now, Parker wins that fight, then maybe down the road he can fight. But a lot of ifs, ands, and buts, right? But Ruiz and Jennings is a fight that should be made, man. That can be made. They're both with Top Rank. But a lot of these guys, man, they're trying to set themselves up for title fights. And to me, sometimes, look, all y'all ain't about to get title shots, man. You know what I mean? So in between time, y'all need to make some good fights like Whyte versus Lucas Browne. Whyte right now, last I checked, he was rated #1 by the WBC. But he understands he just can't sit around. I mean, you got to do some other shit out here, man. So in this opportunity where I think they can fight, Jennings and Ruiz, now I know the loser can set them back, especially if it's Jennings. But, a loss can set them back. But at the same time, I mean, you got to be doing something out here. You just can't fight fucking journeyman and just sit and wait. Now, I know those fighters, they probably hear me like, who the fuck are you talking? And I'm trying to get for a title shot, And I understand sometimes as fans, fights that we think just be great, good fights probably aren't realistic because a lot of these guys aren't trying to fight those type of fights. They're literally trying to sit and wait for big opportunities. Now, business-wise, I guess that works best for them. But as a fan, it's like, dude, you're just wasting away years, either not just being stagnant and dormant and not doing anything, or you're fighting journeyman. See you guys talking about Chamberlain versus Okolie. That's going to be another good one, too. Chamberlain seems as if he's more well-rounded, more polished as a fighter. Okolie seems more of a kind of a wiry type guy, rangy type of dude, man. But man, Chamberlain looks like the more polished guy. Again, I've seen a lot of more polished guys and more skillful guys going there and get their ass whooped too. So that's another fight, man. That's what I like about this first quarter, man. There's a lot of these type of fights, these 50-50, not quite sure. You may favor a guy, but really you're like, I'm not sure. I like these type of fights, man. This is what boxing should be about. You know what I mean? If you want a title shot, Earn the motherfucker. Let's see you fight somebody else that's a 50-50-ish type of fight. It builds character for you as a fighter, man, in my opinion. DOG215 says, Mr. Boxing, they ain't letting no American heavyweight with Pop defeat any Brit heavyweight. If they lose, that's it for them. You know what, man? I don't know. I don't agree with that, because in the UK, they love their fighters, man, to where if one of their guys get beat, they'll come back out and cheer for them. You know what I mean? Look at Kell Brook. I know it's a different weight class and different circumstances, but shit, if he comes back, I think they're going to pack out another little one of them stadiums he fights in, or come close, or putting a lot of people in there at least. And I think they'll be back to cheering for him. One thing about their fan base, they're not on this whole, like, he's undefeated, and when he lose, they just kind of say, oh, this motherfucker lost the fight, we ain't fucking with him. They don't do that. I think our base, we do that more over here. And I'm not sure if it's, you know, like when Floyd started to really run this whole being undefeated and I ain't lost no, you know, I haven't lost to nobody, and you have whoever the guy lost to, you have that guy problems and all that old type of shit, man. This social media era is more like if you lose, you know, people look down on people that lose a fight. You know what I mean? Not even like a losing streak, but just if you lose a fight, it's like people forget about you. I think in the UK, they're more willing to still support their guys after a loss or two, even after an embarrassing loss. The guy quit, guy gets knocked out. I mean, look at David Price. You know what I mean? I'm not saying everybody's rooting for the guy, but people still trying to support him and get him out there and giving him one more chance after one more chance after one more chance. So that's just my opinion on it, though. DOG215 says, I could have bet $100 Whyte was not fighting any American. I knew it would be someone not from the States. Yeah, I do remember you saying, I remember when I kept bringing up one of the top 5 fights I want to see was, one of the top 5 fights I want to see was Miller versus Whyte. And I do remember you saying that fight won't happen next or whatever. So, but I still do like the Browne fight, you know. Andy C says, true, Mr. Boxing, Kell Brook still has a massive backing in the UK. Brook was world champion and can be again. Yeah, he could be. He could, but I'm not sure if he will. Yeah, man, I'm just not a big believer in this whole if you lose one fight, it's all lit for you. And he lost, you know, this social media shit, man, really got people on that he lost shit, where all my favorite fighters of all time have multiple losses. If that's the case, shit, who can you really be a fan of, man? I mean, we can go on Whyte and look up all the damn undefeated fighters that finish undefeated, but come on, man, like, that's what boxing is now? If you're undefeated or not, that's crazy. Now, don't get me wrong, what Floyd did was great as far as finishing undefeated. Even, I don't want to get into a Floyd conversation, but even if you think he didn't fight this guy or that guy at the right time, and to still beat the guys that he beat and to go undefeated is still impressive to me. It's still impressive, right? But it's not like, oh my God, he's the greatest of all. No. But it's still impressive to go through that list of guys and come out without a loss. Although we can argue, I thought he had at least a draw or two in his career. That's just me. I'm pretty sure you guys can think of the fights I'm talking about, but I don't want to make this to a Floyd video, man. Somebody says all the Hall of Famers have losses. Yeah, man. So I've never been big on he lost. You know, you get to start talking about guys like, yeah, but, oh, you think that guy's good? But he lost to this guy. It's like, what? Yeah, he lost a fight. Damn, everybody does fucking lose a fight, man. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Somebody says, what's the guy's name? Alec Tanako says, could Tyson Fury beat Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder? You know, man, after he beat Vladimir Klitschko, I thought Fury was the man. Not that shit he beat Klitschko, but I thought he would have gave a lot of them dudes problems. And after he won that fight, I was, you know, man, and for some of you that don't know, and some of you have heard me say this before, Deontay Wilder has grown on me. There's a lot of fights that Wilder had, well, not a lot, but 2 fights that he had where I didn't favor him. And again, it's easy to look at it now and say and laugh at it and laugh at my, predictions. But I was breaking down why and giving style breakdowns, and I really, in my opinion, I thought I had valid points of why I thought the other guy was going to beat him. The first Verne fight and going into the Malik Scott fight. So Wilder's a guy that's kind of grown on me. I never was just this, super duper, had this, big time belief in Deontay Wilder. He's a guy that's grown on me, man. So when Tyson Fury won the title, I thought Fury would beat Wilder easily. Or not easily, but I thought he would be able to go in there and get a decisive win. And with Joshua, the same thing with Joshua too, even back then. Now, but again, it just depends what Fury I'm going to see. I don't know what I'm going to see with Tyson Fury, man. I just really don't know. I mean, could he beat them? I think it's possible, but what Tyson Fury are we going to see? Texas C says Wilder is a bitch. Copy that. Copy that. Rohan Brown says, is Tayshaun Dong still fighting? I don't believe he is, man. Last I heard, it was a rumor. Don't write this, don't write this in stone, but it was a rumor, something about the WWE, but I'm not sure. I just seen a rumor of it. Haven't seen Tayshaun Dong in a long time. And to tell you the truth, I don't think he would have went that far. Big guy, but just not fluid enough as a fighter, and I don't trust his chin. Zhang Zhonglong, Zhili Zhang, guys like that, I think are more formidable than he is. I'm going to butcher some of these names, but I'm just, somebody says, what do you, and it's a guy that's left a lot of comments. I just don't know how to pronounce your name, man. Bree, seeing Najbi. He says, what do you make of Usyk versus Breedis? Well, before the tournament, the seedings came out, my 2 favorites were Usyk and Breedis. So once they start putting the tournament together and putting the seedings together, I was like, damn, they're going to end up fighting each other, man. So I'm going to go with Usyk. I just think he's the better fighter. Man, it's going to be a lot of posturing and feinting in this fight, man. It's going to be a lot of posturing, feinting, and trying to figure out if it turned into a war, I'll be very surprised. Breedis has sneaky power. I wonder if he's going to try going and try to pot shot with Usyk, man. But Usyk, I think he's the best cruiser out there. Footwork, head movement, combination punches, fighting off angles. Now, the Hunter fight, he showed he can be touched now. He isn't just a guy out there where you can't touch him. He can be touched. He can be touched up a little bit. But I think Hunter was going all out to try to land. I'm not sure Breedis would do that. We'll see, but I'm going to favor Usyk in that fight. I think he's the best cruiser out there. And then the other half of the bracket is another damn good fight, Dorticos and Gassiev. That's going to be another one, man. I know Gassiev better not underestimate Dorticos, try to go in there and walk him down like, like it's a piece of cake, man. Going to get caught. Somebody says, man, Mr. Boxing, do you think Usyk can be as mobile as quick at heavyweight, though? He is just ultimate at cruiserweight. What, one point that I always bring up, and I know a lot of people says, yeah, but those aren't, those guys aren't AJ and Wilder. Well, I know that. But when I seen him fight in the World Series of Boxing, he was fighting at super heavyweight, and he dominated. And those guys were big guys, 6'6", 260 pounds. He was dominating them. He made, man, they were missing by a mile. Now, a lot of those guys in that tournament that year, and you had guys like Junior Fa that was fighting. And he's a New Zealand prospect that I've covered, undefeated right now. I actually seen, was it ESPN or was it Boxing Scene? One of those sites gave him props, saying he's one of the top heavyweights to watch this year. They old, man. they be saying some old shit. I was saying that shit years ago, man, about these prospects. But anyways, I seen him compete in that, man, and he was making them dudes miss by a country mile, man. He was landing combinations. He was just schooling them dudes as far as his movements, his fluidity as a fighter, using combinations. And when they were landing, he was rolling whip punches, taking some of the steam off. Can he do that at heavyweight? Get a little bit more mature in his body and get a little bit stronger and shit, man. There's some fights out there right now that I think would be a toss-up. Like if you threw Usyk in there with Takam, I would probably favor Usyk. You put Usyk in there with Joseph Parker, there's height and weight and reach. Shit, that's a toss-up to me. You put Usyk in there with Bellew, I think he beats Bellew. You put him in there with Hay, I would favor him over Hay. I'm telling you, man. But we'll see, though. Now, can he beat the AJs and Wilders and all? I don't know. I really don't know, but I think Usyk, man, is being underestimated by some of the fans. That's just me, though. That's just me. Zeus Charles says, what mic do you use, Mr. Boxing? I don't use a mic at all. Can y'all not hear me right now? Or is it crisp? I don't use a mic, man. My wife bought me this new phone for Christmas. I'm not even into these fucking phones. I don't know what this is. Galaxy 7. I don't fucking know. But I got a new phone, so hopefully the audio's is good. Okay, y'all going at it in the chat. See y'all going at it. Read a few more comments, and yes, I'm going to be back, man. I'm going to do short videos. I'm not going to go live all the time. BWTM Sports Channel, Baylor Rick was good, man. He says, in the hotel that you speak with Joseph Parker. Tell JP I said, what's up? Tell him I said, what's up, man? And I asked him, why did he take back what he said against, well, it could be because he don't want to get sued, but why did he take back what he said to AJ about him being the steroid king, whatever? And it could be because he don't want to get sued, man, or defamation of character or some shit like that. But to me, man, talk your shit, man. You ain't got to be nice to everybody. And I understand everybody culture is different. You shouldn't talk. You shouldn't have to talk shit to fight. Well, of course you don't have to talk shit, but who cares, man? What is he mad? What are you making him upset? So what? You have to fight anyways. Who cares? Who cares? I made you mad. Do something. Do something in March about it. And some people saying he shouldn't make him mad. Like he shouldn't make AJ mad. Okay, well, some of the comments just be funny though, man. But I do understand, cultures are different. JP really isn't a shit talker like that. But at the same time, though, man, I mean, they're poking fun like you some, fat boy. Shit, threw a jab back at him. You know what I'm saying? And this isn't like it's a secret. There's a lot of fans that are talking about if AJ is on steroids or if he's not on steroids. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying that joke or people saying that, I've been seeing that online for years now. So it's not like, to me at least, it's not like, I can't believe he would joke like that. Like, man, shit, aren't you guys on the internet? It's all over the internet. And somebody just said they don't like unsubstantiated PED claims. And I agree with that. But I'm just saying, when you just go, I don't know, man. I just grew up where I had homies, man. We were just always Jones on each other. Best of friends, but we always was Jones on each other, right? And I know this is different than going back and forth with your homeboys, somebody saying you use steroids in a professional sport. I understand that. But I'm just saying my culture, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other places, but it's just, you just jonesing on each other, man. But I understand it is different. I grew up with homeboys. They knew, we knew that the other person had real Jordans on or real Nikes, and we'll still make fun of their shoes or haircut or clothes or jacket or whatever it was. Just talking shit, man. And to me, it's just talking shit, man. I mean, we're getting to the point where it's not politically correct to talk shit. It's just, I mean, I don't know, man. You just talking shit. Just talking shit. That's all it is, man. I don't really get the outrage and I don't know. I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Yeah, some people saying AJUCJ and all that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just talking shit, man. If you want to call the dude the Pie King and shit, even AJ said, or what's my man's name? Parker said that, yeah, I do eat pies. Shit, there's a pie shop by my house that sells the best pies. You know what I mean? Like, he took kindly to it, so I don't know. Boxing Leak says, scroll up. All right, let me scroll up. Let me see what's going on. Somebody says, did JP retract? Yeah. Before I started this live chat, go on, let me see if I can look it up on this other device. Let me see the name of the article. Yeah, he did retract today, like literally like an hour ago. Let me look it up. If you go to the New Zealand Herald, the name of the title of the article is Boxing, and it says, Joseph Parker says he went too far with Anthony Joshua steroid claims. You know, I'm just going to read what he said real quick. And that's when I seen this, I'm like, man, maybe the kid don't want to get sued, but why the fuck would he take it back? And when I say this, man, I'm talking shit, y'all, but it's like, man, fuck Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? Like, that should be his mindset, not fuck him, meaning like, I'm not going to train hard but just the hell with his feelings, man. Y'all got to fight anyways. Because come March, he ain't going to be in there trying to be nice to you. You know what I'm saying? The same thing for AJ. If he, you know what, hey man, you saying I'm on whatever, okay, that must mean that you think that I got superpowers. I'm gonna knock your ass out. Just go back and forth with it. Play with it a little bit, man. Like, I don't know, spice it up. Let me see what this cat said, man. Now this device is acting funny. But yeah, he retracted his statements, man. I'm trying to get this device to work so I can read it to you. Let me see here. All right, let me read what this cat said, man. Well, I guess there was a fan. Okay, let me read what it says. It says, Joseph Parker has backtracked on his claims that Anthony Joshua might be using performance-enhancing drugs. Parker yesterday suggested Joshua might be a steroid user, calling his heavyweight rival the king of steroids, but today admitted he went too far with the comment. A fan, Mike Chalklin, posted on his Facebook page, I'm a huge fan of yours, Joe, and one of the things I admire about you is the fact that you are really humble and don't buy into too much trash talk. I was pretty disappointed to see you pull the old he's the king of steroid card and saying that no one's that big naturally. Parker replied, bit too far with that one, shouldn't have said it. We'll fix that up at some stage. Thanks, bro. Man, I would have said, man, the hell with that dude feelings. But I understand, though, he's trying to appease his fans. It is what it is. I mean, it is. Like I said, they're going to have to fight anyways. I know I keep saying that, but that's the bottom line truth. They're going to have to fight anyways. So he said it. You can retract it all day. You still said it. So it's not like AJ's going to be like, okay, well, as long as he retracted it, we're cool now. He's still going to try to go in there and knock your damn head off, man. You know, it's just shit talking, man. This shit ain't even that big, man. That's for that to even be a story. But it's, it's social media. That's just one of them social media stories, man. That's one of them stories. It is what it is. Nobody cares. Well, I guess some of JP's fans do care. But I'm a fan of him too, and I don't give a damn. JD says Spence's steroid tits. Let me see. Damn. He says Spence steroid tit accusation was a problem for his fans. Yeah. It was. But one thing about it though is it was fans just saying it. It wasn't a fighter saying it. It wasn't like he was getting ready to fight Lamont Peterson and Peterson saying, yeah, motherfucker, you're on steroid. He wasn't saying it. It was just fans coming out and saying it. To me, when another fighter's talking shit, let them talk their shit, man. How we going to get between and say, no, guys, break it up, okay? You don't have to talk like that to him, and you shouldn't talk like what are we doing? Let these dudes talk. Now, get between these cats, breaking them up for talking shit, man. All right, Boxing League says you should have some music at 20% volume. That might be a good idea. Might be a good idea. There's a lot of shit I need to do with these live streams. I want to be able to put up a photo or something as I'm talking. The last time I tried to show my face and kind of do it simultaneously and talk, it kept saying I was having bad connection. So, I don't know. All Boxing says AJ seems very sensitive and weak. SJS 1690 says prior to, okay. Fasa Yubenui says, I don't think it's wise from a marketing perspective to accuse your opponent of PED use before the fight. I mean, I can see why you say that, because then you have fans thinking like, damn, this dude really on steroids? Or, see, man, this is why I don't like boxing, you know, shit like that. But I don't know, man. I mean, to me, I was thinking just old-fashioned shit talking, man, to tell you the truth. I really don't see, you know. Del Boy was good, man. Del Boy's boxing news. He says, he's talking to somebody. Lance Armstrong was tested numerous times too. Yeah, and that motherfucker was dirty as hell. He was, and Lance used to get mad and frustrated at you that you were even, you know, asking him about that shit. Man, this motherfucker had all types of damn performance enhancers in him, man. That man will go on national TV, look you straight in your eye and lie to you. Just tell you a fucking lie. And will get mad at reporters and cuss people out, and then you have people supporting him. He would never do that. I bought his wristband. Now, don't get me wrong. He had a good cause. You know, what he had going on. It was for a good cause, but man, that dude was a fraud when it came down to it, as far as was he really using or not. DG DOG215 says, wait till Wilder trash talks him. He gonna be saying a lot of shit. If that fight takes place, man, he gonna be saying a lot of shit his fans ain't gonna like. But this whole like, no guys, you shouldn't be talking like that to each other. Nah. If you're mad, do something in the ring. Man, some of y'all just in here talking crazy, man. That's what boxing does, man. It brings a lot of fans together, just talk a lot of shit. Somebody says, no music, just boxing, please, except old school 90s, early 2000 hip hop, bro. Yeah, that's my shit, man. That 90s hip hop. 90s hip hop, 80s R&B, and 70s funk. That's what I like to vibe out to. Nino Brown said, dudes in here can't do 50 push-ups trying to tell someone they on steroids. I'm sure there's probably some dudes here on YouTube, man, in these comment sections that can properly hit a speed bag or can fight their way through a wet paper bag, and on here telling people how to fight and who they shouldn't fight and blah, blah, blah. John Wall, he says, I think JP is acting very unusual. I think if a boxer is acting out of character, it's a reason for concern. He could be worried about the fight. Even his promoter said he don't know why he said that. See, when I watched the interview, man, when I watched the interview of him saying it, it seemed like it just came off natural. Before I get to that, Parker looked a little bit chubby in the face. I don't know, because sometimes when you line your beard up, sometimes you can, because that should have happened to me, man, where I can be working my ass off, and sometimes when you have like that thick beard, when you line it up, it could just make your face seem a little bit more chubbier than it actually is. Especially when you give yourself that high lining. You know what I mean? If you guys know what I'm talking about. But he looked kind of chubby in the face, man. Like, damn, has JP been... But I think he's more professional than that, man. I'm going to give him a benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's just the wrong camera angle. Or maybe his face is that kind of chubby when he has hair on his face. I haven't noticed. Haven't looked at him that closely. But he looked a little bit chubby in the face. But, somebody says, you hyped about the Black Panther film. Those type of movies, man, those like weird, I don't really like the movies, man. I like more drama, crime, stuff like that, or horror films. Me and my wife like to go to the movies and watch those types of films. I'm not really into superhero characters, and just never been my genre, never. Even coming up as a kid, I just never really liked it. I like more drama, crime, stuff like that. But yeah, as far as Parker talking shit, man, to me it came off natural. It didn't like it seemed like it was forced. Maybe the dude really thinks that. You know what I mean? Maybe he just really, maybe in his mind he does think like, man, this motherfucker juicing. Just maybe he really does think that. And I'd rather him be natural and be real than be some fake motherfucker up here talking about some, I'm gonna go out there and give it all I got. Like them, like those type of interviews are cool, but be natural. Just be yourself, man. If being yourself draw fans away, then they never were your fans from the start. If you can't be yourself as an athlete and say how you feel, now I'm not saying go out there and cost yourself fucking endorsement deals and all that type of stuff where you're just talking reckless. And maybe some of you may consider what he says is reckless, and that's cool if that's your opinion, but just be you, man. But maybe some of you think him being himself is not talking shit. But come on, man, these dudes are competitive athletes. Everybody talks shit here and there in their own little way, their own little cheeky way where they're, you know, kind of ribbing each other. Everybody talks, especially when you're competing at that level. You know what I mean? Is he faking? I don't know. I'm not around JP all the time to really say if he's faking, because he probably talks a lot of shit in the gym. You know what I mean? He probably talks a lot of shit in the gym. Who knows? I'm not sure. But if that's how you feel, hey, man, be a straight shooter. If you're talking to me as a fan, I'm too old for you to be giving me these PC ass answers and cardboard and, you know what I mean? Just say how you feel, man. Del Boy says, you seen anything on Madeline and my job? He's looks like a good prospect. I don't think I've heard, and I've heard of a lot of prospects. Have I heard of that guy? You know what, man? Even with my prospect playlist, I know I've covered damn near 90 of them. There's still about 30 other prospects that I never got around to doing videos about. Speaking of prospects, Efe Ajagba is going to be fighting, I believe, next month, or is it this month? There's a few prospects who's going to be back in the ring. Philippe Herkovic, a lot of guys. But I'm not, if I have seen him, man, I don't remember watching tape of him. But I'll definitely check him out because, like I said, there's about 30 other guys that I still need to do videos on. I was kind of on a roll last year where I was knocking them out. And then I kind of stopped a little bit. Then I'll come back and do a prospect watch on a few guys. But I need to get back on that, man. My goal was to get over 100 prospects, and I was on my way to doing it, and then I kind of stopped doing it. But I'm always looking for new talent who's going to be the up and coming guys in the next few years, 5, 6 years, whatever it is. I love watching these up and coming guys. I love watching amateur tournaments. I love when the Olympics comes around. I like those types of things. That's what I think makes my channel unique. I love watching contenders and guys that are on their last leg trying to get back up into contender status and crack the top 15. I like intriguing journeyman type fights. I'm just weird like that, yo. And that's what I think makes my channel unique for the last 8 years is I do cover shit like that, even when I only get a few views on it. Rohan Brown says, who do you think Nikolai Valuev would do, or how do you think Nikolai Valuev would do in the heavyweight division right now? Well, I think he'll fit right in as far as his size. Shit, man. I mean, I'll give him a decent chance against some of the mid-tier guys, but I don't think he could be some of the like Wilder, AJ, quick guys that can move, fight off angles. I think he'll struggle with those guys like he did back then. And I thought Holyfield beat him too. Del Boy's Boxing News says he stopped Dylan Carmen for the Canadian heavyweight title too. Damn, he did? And I haven't heard from Carmen in a minute. The last time I was reading about Carmen, man, they were trying to get him against Gary Cornish. Was that like a year ago? And that fight, it was scheduled. I did a video about it. And then the fight was off. Damn, he beat Dylan Carmen recently, or? Speaking of Canada, man, I like Alexander Teslenko. He took his career out to Canada. I like him as a prospect. Obviously, I like Oscar Rivas out there. I like Simon Keane out there, former Olympian. So Rivas was Olympian too. He beat Pulev first round of the Olympics back in the day. But Canada got some guys I'm keeping my eye on. Carlos says, what do you think of Sergey Kuzmin's performance against Amir Mansour despite how it ended? Very upset how it ended, man. Very upset how that shit ended. I thought the fight was just starting to heat up. The first few rounds, like I said in the post-fight, I thought Mansour was winning what was going on. Wasn't much going on. It's kind of like Martin versus Glaskov, right? Where not much going on, but from what was going on, the pawing and posturing of what was going on, I thought Mansour was getting the best of that. And I think I had him winning the first 2 rounds, and the third, was it the third round the fight got stopped in? I forget. I thought it was debatable that round. Man, that fight was just getting started, man. Damn, that fight was just getting started. I think they need to make that fight happen again. It was just getting started. Just getting started. TLC says, Mr. Boxing, have you seen Real Steel, and who are your top 5 robots? No, I haven't seen Real Steel. Rohan Brown says, Carlos Takam versus Amir Mansour. Would you like to see that fight? Hell yeah, I'd like to see that fight. They definitely wouldn't have to go looking for each other in a fight like that. I think they will both, for the most part, fight aggressive fights. Although I've seen Takam go on the back foot a little bit, a la the Povetkin fight. Even the fight Mansour was having with Kuzmin, he was going back a little bit, trying to, work some skills. I think that's a fight that would take a little bit to warm up, but once it does start warming up, I think it'd be an intriguing fight. Trying to read. I'm gonna end this soon, man. But yes, I'm going to be back. Going to be back to every video will not be a live stream. I'll be back doing a, 5 or 6 to 10 minute type of videos, giving my quick opinion on fights or probably some things that are going on in the news. But I'm back. I'm back. Scrolling up, I'm seeing some comments. LJ Craver says, Joshua has been tested over 100 times in 4 years. That's a fact. Speaking of not necessarily that, but just when I hear people say he hasn't been tested, or when they say guys, like I was reading some comments on another channel where they were saying that Wilder hasn't been tested yet. And when he gets in there where somebody's going to test him, we're going to see what happens. Or Parker hasn't been tested yet. Or, I guess my definition of being, quote, tested is a little bit different than some other people. Now, some people think being tested means before the fight starts, it's a 50-50 fight. To me, I can see that point of, saying he's about to get tested, or we think he's going to get tested because it's a 50-50 fight, or maybe a fight he's not even a favorite in. So I understand that point, but I also look at it as what happens in fights, in a fight, regardless who it's against, when you're being tested, meaning when your eye's being fucking swelled up and you can't see out your eye. Isn't that a test? Your eye swelled up. It ain't never happened to you. This is adversity. You have to get through it. This is a test, right? Is that not a test because he's in there with somebody who he should be? Getting cracked with a left hook and your legs start to do a little, you start doing a tootsie roll and your legs start doing a running man, a little dance. Isn't that being tested? Having to come back from adversity after getting cracked on the jaw? Vladimir Klitschko's an old legend, winding down his career. Okay, that's cool, but isn't being tested getting off the floor when you're fighting on your damn back? Ain't that a test? Guys winning rounds against you that you end up knocking out, but guys winning rounds, making it awkward for you, isn't that a test? You're losing rounds. You're being tested. So my theory of he hasn't been tested is a lot different from a lot of other fans, man. Because I've been seeing that a lot. Like, he ain't been tested. He fought this guy. I'm like, well, shit. When Molina cracked Wilder, he had to come back from that, right? That's a test. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. To me, when you're not being tested is when you're going in there and everything's just downhill. When you're fighting downhill, nothing's coming back at you. There's nothing to worry about. A fucking jab is knocking people out. To me, that's not being tested. But if you're in there with somebody, I don't give a damn if you're a 50-1 favorite. If you get in there and get cracked, shit, when Holyfield fought Burt Cooper, right? He got tested. Now, going into the fight, we didn't think it was going to be a test, but when the fight started, when that motherfucking bell rung, he was getting tested. I don't know. Maybe, man, like I said, maybe that's just me. All right, y'all, man. I definitely enjoyed you guys. Enjoyed doing this live stream, man. I'm back to doing videos. Going to get back to covering this thing, man. Like I said, like nobody does here on YouTube as far as this heavyweight talk goes. I'm gonna be back to doing post-fight videos on fights that happened in the 80s and 70s because I watch a lot of those fights. Just back to doing a lot of stuff, man. Just the way that I've always ran my channel, I'm back on it. All right. Y'all be good. Be easy. I'm out.